Hello and welcome to The Unfiltered Experience with Tara and Louisa. We are two girls who speak the truth about the struggle of never feeling enough whilst growing up in a world of filters and comparison. Here we will have raw, relatable and authentic conversations to empower you on your path to self-development. Come with us on the journey of unlearning.
Welcome back to The Unfiltered Experience. Today we have a special guest who, as soon as I knew that I was going to do solo episodes and Tara was going to go on maternity leave, and I thought, okay, let's get
Tara.
some guests. Yeah, hello. I thought, oh my God, I know the person that I want to get on first, and that is you, Sheridan Shaw. And Sheridan, if you don't know her, she is an entrepreneur, but also you're a hairdresser. You started as a hairdresser and you've now become like a huge businesswoman in your field. And originally, so a bit of background about me and Sheridan. Sheridan and I know each other through recovery. You know, Sheridan's quite further ahead in her recovery journey than me, and we sort of connected over Instagram in lockdown and sort of checked in on each other throughout that period of time. And I went, and from an outsider's perspective, like I saw you go from the girl doing at-home hairdressing to the woman that is now on her second salon, that is like this powerhouse that's winning awards, that's just amazing. And I've watched your journey, and what's been so amazing is like what we've connected over is our manifestation and our spiritual beliefs, and that we have that real common ground. And I've watched you learn it, apply it, and just flourish. And I know you're in a period of time at the moment where everything is on the line.
Yeah.
And I think that is the message that we all need to know, is that, like, you know, even these women with like huge, amazing achievements put their heart and their soul on the line. And we always just see the end result.
Yes.
But yeah, your journey has been amazing. And I just really wanted to bring you on because you've taught me so much, and I want my listeners to learn from you, and then also to get their hair done by you.
Well, you know, we do both really well.
Yeah. So tell me, like, do you want to do sort of like a check-in? Should we go into where you're at the moment? Because I feel it brimming.
Yeah.
And I feel like we should just lean into that feeling.
Okay, we are. I'm already feeling the tears about to come
Bring
on.
on the tears. I welcome tears.
I really liked how you said that. You're like, you're on the edge. I'm like, yes, I'm on the motherfucking edge of discomfort. And I have pushed myself to the brink of discomfort. And I think that's what growth is. I had another desire after the one that you just shared to expand my already existing award-winning business into a 336 square meter space, which wasn't just to serve the clients. It was to serve lots of other women in business, to hold space and take the big gigantic risk and fit out this space for other people to come along and take a risk with me, basically.
Yep.
And my passion is customer service experience. Like, I feel like this generation has lost their way. Like, we're so, we're not experience driven, we're results driven. So you can go anywhere and get a good hair color, but have you had a good experience?
Yeah.
So I love to be of service in all of my affairs, and particularly to everyone in my chair, the team that are in my space, the women in business that have taken risks with me. And we are fitting out a space. We've spent $500,000,
Wow.
which is wild that I even have $500,000 that banks are willing to loan me money for my dream and for my desire, and that I've had a business for 3.5 years to also support this dream and desire. But basically all the profit that we have gotten over the last 3.5 years is being reinvested into the even bigger and better dream, because I've got this obsession with wanting to be the best version of myself, and that has a direct impact on everyone around me, including the community that I'm a part of. And I had a desire to launch a premium salon in the West, which basically didn't exist.
Yeah.
So we've had amazing success, and to the point that we're not even servicing people in the West. People from Brunswick are driving to the other side of town where there's millions of hair salons that are incredible. So that is what we are doing at the moment. And what that means is it's problems every single day that I can't solve overnight. And I like to solve problems yesterday, and I've got to kind of learn to trust, learn to breathe, learn to regulate my nervous system, learn to find peace in moments because of the discomfort that is just, everywhere right now.
I'm very similar in the sense that, like, if there is ever something a conversation that I need to have, it's something I obsess over and think about it until it's resulted. Because I experience like this really intense anticipation anxiety. And what I think is, I want to just say to like the listeners, to give them context about you, is like, you have utilized your self-development and spiritual practice to cultivate a career.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's on offer when you work on yourself. It opens you up to your dream life in all areas, in your relationships, in your career, with your children, with yourself, like with how you look, like all those relationships, right? And I feel like whenever I have doubt about where I'm going, because I'm at the start of so many things, I really think about you and your journey and how much courage and faith you have had, and you have manifested like a fucking mad woman. Like, what? Like in 5 years, like, wow.
It's been quantum leap after quantum leap.
How have you done that? Like, what? Tell us more.
So I think it all is, I feel like I am being led.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I was led. How all of this began was I started practicing spiritual principles in all of my affairs. And there was one that when I was still doing hairdressing from home, I would dream about having a hair salon. I didn't even know it was my dream, but I would be like the psycho that is driving past a shop and there's a for lease sign, and I'll pull over my car and just like and just have a look in, and just sometimes even message them and say, what's the price, etc. But there was a part of me that still wasn't able to be fully honest, and I was declaring all of my business income as cash. And there were times over that period that I'm sure I was getting Centrelink and, I had a baby and all of these things. So I don't think I ended up getting maternity leave around that time because I wasn't registered. My business wasn't registered for long enough. That,
totally.
to even, because you got to have a job for 9 months or something. Yeah. So I finally was working through that with a mentor at the time, and finally had the courage to start paying my taxes. And the second I started paying my taxes, it was instantaneous. Like, magic started happening. I was driving past this shop, just like I described to you, that I'd done a million times before, but this one was the one. And I could feel spirit. I could feel community spirit. There was a coffee shop right next door. I could feel people lining up for coffee. It was in the middle of COVID. It was the most insane time to launch a hair salon.
Yes.
But I was led, and to this first idea that actually didn't work out at that particular joint. But then my client introduced me to her nephew, who was a real estate agent, and then there was this one just down the road, and it was just too good to be true. There was all day parking out the front. I did have to compromise my suburb that I wanted to be in, but it just felt right.
The universe got you there.
The universe got me there. But the thing was, this particular property was double the price of the first one that I found. And I remember asking the universe for a sign about whether I was going to be able to do that. And for me, that is a peacock, because it's pretty wild to just see a peacock when you need something.
Wow.
And I went for this walk in West Footscray, and I was just pondering. I wasn't looking for the sign, and all of a sudden I turned the corner and there's this big peacock mural right there. And it was just one of those moments that I'm like, I need to do this. Thank you, universe, for showing me my sign, because there's so much fear that's attached, not only for launching a brand new business, but can I do this? Do I have the money to do this? It's a big leap of faith. And I took the leap, and now the leaps just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
And so that feeling that you said before about, like, you feel like you've been led,
Yes.
right? What has created that muscle of feeling that? What have you done to sort of feel and tune into that?
So it's like these little impulses. It's like I was seeing my industry. I started to win awards in the council. I started to win, be recognized in the community. And all I wanted to do was make a difference in the community. And I was resisting being a part of the hairdressing community. But then I recognized that is that's my community. I am a hairdresser. That's where I live and that's where I exist. And if I want to make a difference, I have to be in it, not on the outside. So I started to enter awards in the hairdressing industry and start to get recognition in that. And what led from there was, so I would see the people around me doing these things. And it was this award arena because, like, let's say I was like, I'm going to shoot a collection. I've never done that before. And so that brought up the discomfort. It was like, I can do this. Everyone else around me is doing this. I can do this too. So then I start to put in the action. But then what would happen is it would bring up a whole new layer of, I'm not good enough. I'm a fraud. You can't do this. Like, it would just bring up all the most uncomfortable, because when you shoot collections, it brings up all of your weaknesses. You have to look at what you're not good at because that's what you're being judged on. And by shooting, it brings awareness to those things. So I think I would just have these little pulls to do these uncomfortable things like shoot collections and start businesses and launch an even bigger business. And so I would have to kind of follow through with the impulse of, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do this. And they don't always lead to something, but most of them do if I'm honest enough with myself that that's what I want to do. So this year, how it's come up again is I read this book. It's the most incredible book. It's like a 3-month practice. It's by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way. Have you done it?
I've heard of it.
Oh my lordy lord.
About writing, you do like an exercise where you free write every morning?
Yes, every single morning you write 3 pages. But basically she's asking me questions. What is it that you really want to do? I was honest enough with myself to say, I want to shoot for Victorian Hairdresser of the Year. And I'm like, what? That's my desire? But normally I would kind of squish it and be like, no, I'm not good enough. I don't fit there. I'm a colorist, blah, 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 blah. But the truth is I'm an all-rounded hairdresser. I've been an all-rounder hairdresser for 18 years. I was raised in premium salon background. All my clients have followed me from the bathroom to the kitchen to the lounge room to the back room to now. Like, I've been followed and also been led. Like, and these people, the evidence is there now that I am bloody good at what I do. And so I think just like these practices, these books that draw out in me what are my greatest desires and am I brave enough to pursue them? Because I think we've all got them, but we squish the shit out of them. And because it takes so much work to move through every feeling that comes up when you are pursuing your dream.
Because we sell ourselves a lie to keep ourselves small, because if the goal is smaller and more achievable or more within our comfort zone, we can't fail, because if we go after that big thing and we fail, then what does that say about our worth? But really, like, we have to reframe that our worth isn't attached to those outcomes, but it's about we gain our worth from trying and from failing and trying again and not giving up on ourselves. And that is you in a person.
Oh my gosh. The more I've shown up, like, I cried so hard every week when I was shooting my first ever collection for new creative talent. And I remember a mentor said to me, maybe you need to give up. And I lost it. Then the rage started to come up, because I was like, she's like, if you are feeling like this, I don't think it's a healthy thing. Like, I don't think it's good for you. And I was like, but I've already done all the work. It's already done. The shoot's in 2 weeks. I've already felt all of this discomfort. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, I can't. That's not like, so maybe put a little pin in that, because that was probably really helpful to be probed in that way. But I would not be where I am today if I didn't pursue that. And yes, it was hard, and yes, it was uncomfortable, and it's uncomfortable for people watching it because not many people can hold the space. So
because it triggers something within them.
It does. Yeah. So that was probably the breakdown of one of those mentors for me at the time, and that kind of continued to happen the more I would push beyond the comfort zone and do these wild things that, yes, I am juggling a lot of balls, but I feel like I'm being led to juggle the balls. And yes, I am dropping balls from time to time. And yes, I can't wait to finish one of these balls at the moment. But one of my best of friends said to me, Sheridan, you're on the roller coaster and enjoy the ride, because before you know it, you're going to be off and you're going to want to get the fuck back on. And I know me, that is exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to get used to this new big life and I'm going to want to do it all over again, because that is who I am and that's what I'm destined for, is more, but not more in a selfish, self-centered, unhinged way. It's I am comfortable and I'm ready for the next level of life, whatever that looks like.
And you're ready to hold more for others.
Yeah.
Because when you create, like you said about this new space, because you could have very easily continued in the salon that you created.
My accountant said that too.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing? Like, this is a perfectly good business model. I was like, yeah, but, I want to do this.
And it's serving other businesses.
It is. It's not just serving myself. Like, we could have had a very comfortable life there. But I was knocking back team members that wanted jobs at Mama West, and we were at capacity. We were knocking back clients as well. It's like, well, I feel like this place feels too small for me now. I'm too big for this place. And it's funny, even things were falling apart left, right and centre. And, last night, two of my team members were fighting over a PowerPoint, because if you put two hairdryers in the same PowerPoint, it's going to blow. And I just, we just laughed about it. I said, we won't have that problem for too much longer, guys, So it's like what the universe is giving me signs left, right and center. But it doesn't mean it's easy. And I think this is the thing. It's like living this lifestyle is not easy. Like, I have had the most transformational period of my whole entire recovery in the last year, but most of it has been in fetal position, and most of it has been feeling the heartbreak to suddenly let the light into my heart, because I've been so on the other side. I've never felt the love that I'm feeling in my heart at the moment. I've never felt the faith and the trust. It's the trust, actually. Faith was something I've been practicing, but it's now turning into an undeniable trust in myself. But not only that, my family, the trust in my family. It's not just me making the decisions. It's not just my business, which it was for the last few years. Now it's our business. It's our future. And even one of my team members, sorry, I'll probably get a bit emotional about this, but my fiance is in the business now. He's now managing the team, Heath, and my team member said to him, I love being a part of your family's dream, and I just think,
wow.
Like, for your team member to say something like that, most of the time you're like, fuck my boss, that motherfucker driving a Range Rover. Because I do. I'm driving my dream car because I didn't want to settle for anything less. Almost bought a Kia, and it didn't feel right. I couldn't do it, the Kia. I was like, I'd rather wait 3 years, which I did, get my dream drug dealer car. Because although I don't take any substance, mind or mood altering, including alcohol, I still have a low key obsession with looking a bit like a drug dealer. Hence the Adidas.
What you just touched on then about being your team member being a part of your family's dream, and how I feel like our generation is transforming the workplace and bringing in a holistic and well-being environment into our workplace.
God, yes.
I feel like back in the day, a workplace is very sterile and they don't take into account you as a whole being and what's going on. And that's moving to a new reality, and I feel like you're a part of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are, and I think it's our generation, but it's also the generation that are doing the deep work. Even Heath coming into the business, he's done, community services. He was working at a rehab, helping the youth get clean and stay clean, and we had a trauma-informed workshop in a hair salon, and it facilitated that to the team. I don't know any salon in the world doing that.
I just got tingles throughout my whole body when you said that.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, I feel like that's fucking awesome.
Well, because it's like we don't have to fix, we don't have to change, we don't have to, we do hold the space in many ways, but we can do that in a very trauma-informed and safe way, because we've all heard it that therapy is like your hairdressing appointment is cheaper than therapy, you might as well get therapy. And we're like ha 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 about it, but it's like we have to have boundaries. We have to be able to hold space in a really safe way, and we need to be able to provide a safe workspace for the team that are holding energy in a really deep way, because when you're touching people and their hair, and so much is attached to our hair, as you know, as I know, as a woman in the world, there's just so much around that. So to be in this position of being a business owner comes with great responsibility, and as a leader, not just in my community, in the hairdressing community, in my inner West community, I have a great responsibility to be responsible and to show up with integrity, all of those spiritual principles that I think I can sway off from time to time, but I always come back home and it feels really good there.
Can you tell us more about what you were just saying about the attachment with women to their hair?
Yes.
And like the energy with hair, tell me more about that.
Well, firstly, I think it's about energy exchange with a hairdresser. If you don't feel safe with your hairdresser, they're not understanding your needs. Like if you're in consultation, you know within the first 5 minutes if that person is going to meet your needs. You know deep down. It's like, and that's why you might sit there for the next 50 minutes of your appointment wondering, they're not getting it. You know they're not getting it because they haven't been able to mirror back what it is that you're saying. So I think it takes a long time to find the right hairdresser that can hear you, because we live in a very self-centered society that don't know how to listen or might not know what to do. But the one thing that I love about Mama West is if I don't know how to do something, I'm going to book you in my team with the next best person that I know is going to nail your hair needs. And we have a responsibility to do that. And that's why education is so important, and to keep learning. And 10% of hairdressers continue to stay educated post-qualifying.
Wow.
That's a very small statistic. So if you're asking for the latest trend and the hairdresser that's behind the chair hasn't done that extra education because they don't value growth, you're in trouble because they don't know how to do it. They might have watched a YouTube tutorial once, but we are always on the next education experiences that's going to teach us to be the better version of ourselves that we were before, because we're award winning. It comes with responsibility. You have to be able to meet the needs and the demands of community. So I think, hair is energy. I know for me, when I've got my hair pieces in, which they're missing today, but they're coming back, I am a force. My whole tone changes, my demeanor changes. And I think sadly the pendulum has swung the other way, where it has, we've got this very artificial attachment to things that make us feel better about ourselves. But I believe there's somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be here. It doesn't have to be here. But if you're coming from a loving place, I have fine hair. Yeah. I am never going to have long, beautiful hair. My hair, this is my hair's capacity. That's it. So there are tools in the world that can give me what I desire. Yeah. But it requires maintenance and work and all of those things. So it's accepting this is just what my hair does. And I think my job as a hairdresser is spelling that out to people too. This is your hair's capacity. But the good news is we have tools to get you there. Do you want those tools or do you not want those tools? If you don't want those tools, we are going to have to accept what we have today and move in the direction of acceptance rather than wishing that your hair is something that it's never going to be.
Wow. You're like a coach.
Well, it's a
hairdresser.
It's an honest conversation, and I love being the expert. And I think people are afraid to be the expert, but 18 years of wisdom and experience in the hairdressing industry will give you the confidence to say no to a client. Like my Botox lady, she says, when I say I want more, she's like, no, Sheridan, your lips are fucking nano lips. If you put any more in there, you're going to look like a psychopath. So I go back to her because she says no. She's the professional. And I think saying no is sexy. But the trouble is we don't say no to each other anymore.
Saying no is sexy.
It's so hot.
It's so triggering though when you receive it.
Sucks, I know.
You're like, what?
But she gave me another alternative. She's just go get some lip blush. You know, your lip anatomy, it's your lip anatomy. If you just went a little bit deeper in your ring of your lip or whatever, like you'll feel better. I'm still contemplating that. I haven't done it, but I've stopped asking her for more, which is like a gift. Thank you, Lauren from Skin Avenue.
Shout out. Oh my God, I love it. No, I know what you mean. I know when I'm like, oh, I want a meal, and they're like, no, you need half.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm coming back to you. I'm safe here. Because they're not trying to grab your money.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you for making it to the end of part 1 of my interview with Sheridan, guys. Next week, we will come back with part 2, which will be a focus on her spiritual journey, her manifestation practices, and the internal side of how she has manifested the life of her dreams. See you then.